time. Joining me now is former Department of Homeland Security Senior Advisor Charles Marino. He's also a former Secret Service agent, and he's the author of the book Terrorists on Our Border and in Our Country. Charles, great to have you here. So you're a former Secret Service officer. Yeah. What did you think about how the Secret Service and FBI agents handled Senator Padilla in that incident this afternoon?
I think they handled it exactly right. Look, the senator was the one who escalated this situation by coming through the doors, yelling out questions, screaming that he was a senator while closing distance to the Secretary of Homeland Security, who is a protected person by the Secret Service. Look, I've worked at the White House for years. I've had people show up to the White House and swear that they were the president and I should let them in. And so, you know, you can't just take somebody's word here. There was no congressional pin on the senator. He did not check in with anybody in advance to say, I'm here, I'd like to be let in to ask a question. He barged through the doors and they responded accordingly.
The senator was wearing a polo shirt that said U.S. Senate on it. He was checked into the building for a briefing that was down the hall, asked if he wanted to go hear what Secretary Noem was saying and said he would like to go in. He says he walked into the room, stood and listened for a few minutes before he, yes, definitely interrupted her and began to ask her a question. At that point, he was immediately pushed back out by the Secret Service agents. You and I both know that there are a lot of news conferences all the time that are interrupted. Was it appropriate to immediately begin to shove him out of the room?
Yeah, I think there were a lot of things going on there. And I think as you're walking towards the secretary, that's a problem. I did not see the agents go out of their way to make their way towards him. It was like they met in the middle as he was trying to get closer to the secretary to shout his question. He was not placed under arrest. He was detained until his identity could be verified. I think, you know, look, there's a lot of politics here. We saw the same thing in Newark, New Jersey at the ICE detention center where a congresswoman was arrested you know, for also assaulting ICE officers. This is just not the way to do congressional oversight, in my opinion.
All right, I want to switch very quickly to this court hearing that happened just a short time ago. Governor Newsom and his lawyers, the governor not himself, but the state of California, arguing against the Trump administration lawyers. They are trying to limit how much the Marines and the National Guard can be used in the state of California. You think that the Trump administration will prevail. Why?
Well, they've already prevailed on Title X with respect to the National Guard by a judge, again, a Clinton administration appointee. President Clinton, for historical purposes, was also considered to be an immigration hawk. So I would imagine this judge was in line with the beliefs and policies and political siding of the Clinton administration when appointed. So not a surprise. But, you know, the question is the 700 active duty Marines that are coming in, will they fall under the Title X operating procedures, which is historically to provide protection, not participate in arrests. We've seen Title X be used at places like the Southwest border, where they fulfill and observe and report functionality. I do not believe we're going to see these Marines involved in making arrests of U.S. citizens or those in the country illegally. I think they will adapt the operating procedures of the National Guard under Title X, even though they fall outside of Title X.
And do you think they're still needed, given the fact that the curfew and local police seem to have gotten things under control?
Well, if you look at how this started, Elizabeth, the police chief of L.A. was very clear in front of the national media when this first started to say that his department was simply overwhelmed.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.